All right, hood scoop's nailed on there for good, hopefully. Well, I don't know. It's growing on me. Doesn't suck too bad, I guess. The paint's a semi-gloss, so it's got a little bit of a dull finish. So I guess the main challenge is going to be what happens when it gets dirty. Will it clean off good? Okay, friends, so we were able to get the MSD View software loaded onto this old laptop I got laying around, and we're in the Custom 1 tab. So if you don't know, these MSD units have a dial on them. You put a screwdriver in it and you turn, it's got a little arrow and it has like 8 different settings. Custom 1 is the one that allows you to view it in a graph like this, and you just come along and you change the numbers as you will. So we're just going to even these out here. 3,500. You got to press enter or else it doesn't recognize it. We'll put that 3,000. 400. I'll make that 2,000, just to make things even. I mean, this is modifying the numbers that were in it when I got it. 1,500, 1,000, 600. We'll make that 300. Not that it's going to run at 300, but so now basically we've got a graph where we're all in at 32 degrees advance at 2,400 RPM. And this little dip that you see out here at 52,250, that is where horsepower and torque equal each other. If you ever look at a dyno graph, and you'll notice that horsepower starts low and goes up, torque starts high and goes down. They always cross right at 5,250 RPM. And that's where maximum cylinder pressure is, from what I gather, and this little dip in timing will make life easier on your main bearings, apparently. That's what I've heard. So we've got our numbers. We're stopped at 6,500. Now we've got to figure out how to, if we go back to settings, I think it's where you set the rev limit. Yeah, so we only want this thing going to 6,500. So 6,500, enter. If we were using a launch rev limiter, we would add something in there, but this is not a drag car, so we don't need that. Coils, it doesn't really have a selection for the MSD coils we have on it, so we'll leave it in auto. Idle timing control. I don't know. We'll stick that on, see what happens. And this is plugged right into the MSD right now through this USB cable. So as you enter things in, as long as it's online, it is putting the changes into the unit. And you can do fun things with it, like display all this nice stuff. All right, we got kind of a base set up in our MSD for timing to run this engine, and we've started working on tuning the carburetor a little bit. Real basic stuff first. Idle setting, got that at about 850, 900 RPMs. Idle adjust screws, mixture adjustment for either side there. They ended up being about, I think about 1 3/4, 2 turns out for best idle. And we have our vacuum line in the manifold for the MSD over here. These are where the rods and springs sit. So the rod, it's a metering rod, sits inside the jet, and as vacuum decreases, the spring pushes it out, enriching the mixture. Just loosen this up, get the ear out of the way, and you can see there's our this is the rod. We can get it up out of there. Not really a great tool to do it with, but sorry, on the right is the rod. And that sits down inside the jet, varying the size of the jet as under vacuum. And the spring that's underneath this plunger determines when it enriches and doesn't. So since we made some adjustments to it, we're going to go take it out for a ride now and see where we need to go from here. Never do that, no matter how much I tuned it with the fuel injection. It would leave me bucking and trying to throw you out of the car right now. Alright, it's pretty warmed up now. Let's see what it does going up the hill. Here we go. Rip here.